Hello everyone. In today's class, we are going to do environmental issues. So as we are studying different types of pollution, different types of pollutants, how air pollution is causing, how water pollution is caused, how sand, soil, land, so these type of pollution has been caused because of the pollutants. So what are the causes of these pollutants and what it is causing? Like all the pollutants, all the chemicals, all the gases, harmful gases which are there, they are released into the atmosphere. So what is happening after that? What it is leading to? So in today's class, our part 6 is greenhouse effect and global warming. So in today's class we are going to discuss the major issues, that is greenhouse effect and global warming. So let's talk about the greenhouse effect. We know that sun's radiations that reaches the earth is mostly in the visible and the infrared way, right? Whereas the earth radiates energy mostly in the infrared, right? So sun's radiation is in both visible and infrared, right? Whereas the earth is radiating energy in the infrared, right? So the earth's atmosphere reflects 30% of its radiations that comes in from the sun. So 30% it is radiated, right? And the remaining that comes from the atmosphere absorbs 25%, and the remaining 45% get to the surface. So at the surface, these 45% radiations, they go to surface, right? So as the surface warms up, it radiates more energy back to the atmosphere and then to the outer space, and the warmed atmosphere radiates some of its energy upward into the outer space and some downward to the earth's surface. So what is greenhouse effect and what is the relation of greenhouse effect with the radiation, with these 45% radiation which has been transmitted, which has been absorbed, right? So greenhouse effect is a process that occurs when the gaseous form in the earth's atmosphere trap the sun's heat. So like I told you, sun's radiations are there. This process makes earth much warmer than it would be without an atmosphere, because the gases are there which is trapped into the atmosphere. It traps the sun's heat, right? And the process is making earth much warmer because the temperature is increasing, right? And it would be without an atmosphere. So for example, if an atmosphere is not there, that means without a greenhouse effect, right? Because there will be no warmer air, that is no greenhouse effect, then the temperature on earth would be far too cold, that is 15 degrees Celsius to minus 18 degrees Celsius to sustain the biosphere. So we can say that without the greenhouse effect, there is no warmer air, there is no warmer air which is making the earth temperature higher. So what are these gases? So these type of gases are known as greenhouse gases, right? So for example, the glass which is used to make the greenhouse, right? The greenhouse, the color of the glass is like a green shaded color, is transparent to the visible light but opaque to infrared, right? So the glass which is making up the greenhouse, right, is transparent to the visible light, but it is opaque to infrared rays, right? So there's industrial revolution, because of which there is emission of lot of amount of gases, like we have talked about, from the industrial waste, from the factories, the amount of gases which is released into the atmosphere by the human activities, that is burning of coal, which combustion process is happening, which is releasing a lot of carbon dioxide. So the major greenhouse gases are water vapor, carbon dioxide, methane, and some oxides of nitrogen and chlorofluorocarbons. So what are these chlorofluorocarbons? These are the coolants or the refrigerants which are used, and in the CFCs, which is releasing harmful gases, right? So here we can see the contribution of various gaseous greenhouse gases to the total global warming. We have been talking about the greenhouse effect. Then what is global warming, right? So if we talk about that carbon dioxide, it is 200 billion metric tons of carbon in the form of carbon dioxide enter and leave the Earth's atmosphere, right? So it is in 60%, yes. So carbon dioxide enter and leave the Earth atmosphere each year, as there are many activities which is going on, right? So if we talk about today, concentration of CO2 is 380 parts per million, right? And it is predicted that the level may rise to 450 parts per million by 2050 if we keep on doing the activities which is making up the more carbon dioxide, right? Then if we talk about the methane, right? Methane is CH4. It is hydrocarbon, right? So this methane is doubled in the past 200 years and is thought to contribute 20% of the greenhouse effect, right? So here we can say it's 20%. Methane is mainly released by the anaerobic methanogens. That means anaerobic organisms which are present without the presence of oxygen. Then we have CFCs. The full form of CFC is chlorofluorocarbon, right? So they are very inert stable compounds that have been used in spray cans as a aerosol propellant and in case of the refrigerator, right? So the rate of CFCs is increasing, and it is estimated that by 14% of the anthropogenic greenhouse effect may relate to CFCs, and it's because of the CFCs the rate is increasing. Then we have the nitrous oxide, which is 6%. It is increasing because like the agriculture application of fertilizers. So fertilizers contains nitrogen, yes, and because of the burning of the fossil fuels. It is contributing to 6% in the greenhouse gases. So let's talk about the sunlight. As I told you, because of the sunlight, the heat energy is trapped, and because of which the earth is warmer. So sunlight energy at the outermost atmosphere, what it is about. So we know that clouds and gases, they reflect 1/4 of the incoming solar radiation and they absorb some amount of it, right? Half of the incoming solar radiations fall on the earth's surface. So this is the earth's surface, right? Heating it, while a small proportion is reflected back. Earth's surface also re-emits the heat. So whatever the heat is coming or the rays are coming, they re-emit it in the form of the infrared radiation, right? But there are some part which goes into the atmospheric gases like carbon dioxide, methane, and absorb a major fraction of it, right? So carbon dioxide and methane, they're causing a major cause to this. So here we can see how the sun's energy is coming and how the earth's surface is reflecting it, re-emitting it. So greenhouse gases absorb the long, that is infrared, they are the long radiation, long wave radiations, and they emit it again towards the earth, right? And the cycle keeps on continue till the earth's surface has no long wave radiations to emit. So here you can see on the earth's surface the greenhouse gases are there, like carbon dioxide, methane. So they have been present on the outermost atmosphere. What it is leading to? Like these type of gases are increasing because of the anthropogenic activities. So it is leading to global warming. Warming means temperature is increased. Global means earth, right? So earth warming or the global warming. So the increased level of greenhouse gases due to the anthropogenic activities, it has been increased because of the temperature is increasing by about 0.6 degrees Celsius in the past century, and because of the increase in temperature, it is known as global warming. So as we know that there are major greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide, methane, chlorofluorocarbons, nitrous oxide, these gases are increasing, and because of which the temperature is increasing and because of which the global warming is occurring. Right? But what are the effects of the global warming? First is the change in river flow. So for example, if global warming is increasing, the glacial ice will melt. So if glacial ice will melt, which lead to reduction in snow, and it will reduce the water availability and hydropower potential, right? If there is a rise in sea level, if there is an increase in temperature which is expanding liquid water as water warms, right, the ice sheet or the land will melt. Then again the ice sheet is melting and water will flow into the oceans that can lead to flood. Third, we have the melting of glaciers. So if there is a melting, like global warming is increasing, temperature is increasing, that leads to the melting of glaciers, that will increase the level of seawater, right? Then what about the biodiversity? How the global warming is affecting the biodiversity? So we know that 20 to 30% of the species are likely to be increased risk of extinction as there is a global warming. That means the temperature is increasing, right? If temperature increases above the pre-industrial level, then there will be extinction of species. Then we have the agriculture. It is affecting, that is decrease in production happens. The agriculture production will decrease, right? So soil may not be suitable for the crop production, and this will obviously affect the productivity. Next is human health. So human health is adversely affecting because of all the nutrients that we are getting from the agriculture. Malnutrition is happening, diseases are happening, right? So all of these are keeping a change in the food chain, or we can say the cycle, the trophic levels, right? That is all affecting the human health. Next, we have the depletion of ozone layer. So as we have talked about the ozone layer in the previous part, it is protecting from the ultraviolet UV rays, harmful UV rays, and it is present in the stratosphere layer of the atmosphere, right? So we have discussed that atmosphere consists of troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere and exosphere, right? So these Cfcs, nitrous oxide, methane, they go into the stratosphere and cause the destruction of the ozone layer. So these are the effects of global warming. So if there are effects, then there are measures to control the global warming, right? So first is use of alternate source of energy. Alternate source of energy means we can use solar powers, we can use fuel cells, hydropower plant, wind energy, geothermal energy, which does not emit out the greenhouse gases, right? There is restriction on the use of electricity by using the energy efficient devices and the appliances. So we can actually replace the light bulbs with the CFLs, that is compact fluorescent light, as it takes up less amount of energy but emit out good radiations. That means they emit out high amount of light. Recent studies claim that LFLs, right, or LEDs, a better alternative is LEDs, light emitting diodes. Right, so they are gaining major popularity. Next is control on the vehicular emission. Maximum is by the vehicular emission, like vehicles. So everybody in the house has one or two cars, so they are going on their own, right? That is causing a lot of production, combustion is happening. That is why the greenhouse gases have been produced, like CO2 by you. So we should use public transport like buses and other alternatives such as carpools, walking, biking, right? Next is planting more trees. So we know that plants take up the carbon dioxide and they give out the oxygen, right? So the amount of carbon dioxide which is produced, so it has to be consumed by the plants. For that we have to plant more trees. So to plant more trees is effective way to counter the increase in carbon dioxide which is caused by the automobile traffic, manufacturing and other human activities. So during the photosynthesis process, plants are making their food. Trees and other plants, they absorb the carbon dioxide and they give off the oxygen, right? So we should plant more trees to decrease the amount of carbon dioxide, so there's a balance in the carbon dioxide and oxygen content. Next is recycle and reuse the paper, plastic, newspaper, glass, aluminium cans to reduce the waste and its disposal. So if plastic, we know it's non-biodegradable. So it cannot be decomposed, right? So it should be recycled and reused. Like we have seen in the case of the two brothers, so they use the plastic and they lay the roads with the help of the plastic. So here we talked about these. So there comes one or two questions like greenhouse effect refers to. So as we have talked about the greenhouse effect, this question came in 1999 and this question says greenhouse effect refers to. So as we have talked, there's a rise in the atmospheric temperature because of which there is more greenhouse gases. That is known as the greenhouse effect and it is given by Joseph Fourier. You should know this. It is given by Joseph Fourier. So this is all about the greenhouse effect and the global warming. I hope you understood. Thank you.